Let's all go to the movies. Grab your popcorn for the next hour. We're going to be talking about our favorite Disney films. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Let's bring back the magic.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.
All right, welcome to Bring Back the Magic. And if you are listening, make sure you check out our t-shirt shop at themeparkchuckle.com. You can grab yourself a baseline Besties shirt, be part of the group, talk to people, make friends, have fun. It's what we're all about here at Bring Back the Magic podcast. I am one of your hosts. I'm Josh.
And I am his sister, Gina. And for those of you just joining us, welcome aboard. We want you to make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you are watching this on YouTube, we don't want you to miss a minute of the magic. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a follow. We appreciate you guys being listeners of our show, but we also love to interact with you personally. So please give us a follow on our social media platforms, whichever your choice is, Instagram, TikTok. We are at BBT Magic Podcast on both, and we also do have a Facebook.
Well done. And I'd like to tell everybody this, I don't know what I was going to say. It's TV 14, guys. Keep it clean for TV 14. If you're a younger viewer, please have your parents' permission before listening to us chuckleheads. And yeah, we keep it clean though. Fart.
I also feel like I need to start adding into my 10-minute spiel that we have a newly revamped website, which is bringbackthemagicpodcast.com.
We do? We
Josh
do?
worked very hard on it. Or you can go to @BBTM podcast if you don't like typing that much.
Yeah, it's a very long thing. I've never been a fan of people who have very long addresses for things.
Josh will be putting it, I'm sure, in the
Please visit us at Bring Back the Magic. Has a brand new website, and it's reallycool.com.
I'm imagining it's going to be linked in the description of our podcast episode, so it's easy.
That's where Gina tells me to do so because she's like, you'll forget.
I do my part, Josh. I do my part. I do the best I can.
I don't know. I'm still getting my bearings back, being our podcast was on hiatus for a while until season 2. And I'm like, oh, but it feels good. I'm back in the spirit of things. I feel good.
It's like a bicycle. I don't know. I don't ride bicycles, but I hear it's like a bicycle.
Yeah. Gina can't ride a bike.
I can't.
It's like riding a bike. Well, that sounds difficult.
The 3 common things that everyone else can do that I cannot. I cannot ride a bike. To be fair, I've never really tried. Can't ride a bike. Can't do a cartwheel. Can't do a dive. So.
And one more. Stay quiet.
I can't host the podcast. He says I can't stay quiet. He just talked about in the last episode how he was leading the charge. I thought that was my phone going on TV reach. I was like, is there a sound effect on my phone?
Yeah, sure. Even that was sad for you.
I thought I had it on silent.
Yeah, so being back in the swing of things and talking Disney, I feel so much better knowing that I have time to, like, very William Shatner way I'm doing this, but to discuss things that I love.
About Disney.
There's so much Disney out there right now. There really is, and there's even more Stitch, but Gina digresses about that.
I was just waiting for that little blue goblin to jump on the screen, but I guess you don't have that one queued up.
No, I do not, but that did happen last episode, whether you knew it or not.
He's everywhere. He's literally everywhere in the studio. He keeps sneaking up on me. It's fine.
But we've talked about this before, and again, because this is earlier in the season, we've been planning our Festival of Friends, which is coming up in May. We're going to keep talking about that in some of our episodes. But Festival of Friends is May 15th through 17th. Our way of getting some people to meet up, have a good time, engage in some Disney tomfoolery with your pals in the community, and just help people draw a little closer, because we don't like to gatekeep the fun that is Disney. Okay? Because people realize they're like, oh, you go to Disney. There's people that are adamantly against it, that don't understand what fun is, and they're just miserable people. But you know what? Teach their own. But we know when we go how much fun we have doing certain activities that may not be just through Disney themselves. It's stuff we like to do. We've talked about things that maybe aren't part of this kind of deal, where we played pub golf with each other, or we've hung out days, and not everything involves drinking, guys. Or we had little games where we had to go back and forth from cast members and say something or figure out stuff. I love those kind of interactions, and this is going to be just full of activities you can participate in, or you don't have to.
Nobody's going to have to worry about feeling put on the spot or called out or awkward. Like, even if we're like, hey, Saturday night, we're all going to hit kimonos and do karaoke.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like we're going to force you to get up there and sing. If you know,
I mean,
Josh and
I will.
If you know Josh and I, we're not going to. We're going to say nobody else get up there, because then that just takes time away from Josh and I wanting to get up.
I don't sing. But I do. But I sing. Just kidding.
So.
No, I feel like that kind of stuff, it's just saying, look, you have opportunities to do so many things, do as much you want. You're not being drafted for a baseball team. It's not saying, oh, I'm signed up now, I've got to play 9 innings. Right. You don't. Go out there, grab your goodie bag that you get, which is going to be awesome. But I'm sorry. Maybe it's like just selfish of me just selfishly thinking that this is a really, really cool thing. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to love it. If it's anything about like what you guys have talked about, things we've debuted before or shown, it's going to be so much more. And I feel like the fact that we already have X amount of people that have already registered for the event, we're already happy. But people right now can register early before February 1st, or on February 1st is the deadline for early registration. Trust me, what you're getting on the thing, we're not trying to sell you to make a bunch of money off an event. We're not.
We never
We're
do.
trying, no, we don't. We just try to figure out a way to do something to make it so people can enjoy it, and it's not going to be like an straining cost to everybody, whatever. Yeah. I can't talk. Words are difficult.
Good thing you host a podcast.
Exactly. I'm like, well, you picked a great profession. But it's not. It's for funsies. So there's going to be more value in what you're getting before you even start all the activities and all. It's amazing. We're happy. Shout out to Missy for helping us with this.
So Travel Views with Missy, shoot her a DM.
Yes. You can go, and through the website, the brand new website, you can go on there, click on the Festival of Friends thing, go into events or the events tab in there, and just be like, you know what, go in there, figure out, contact her. She'll get you the how to register, and it's going to be awesome. So excited.
It's the Festival of Friends.
Gina did another song, because if you know Gina's thing, she is 100% all about
I love a theme song.
Doing those kind of things.
I think it's just like it connects you to everything. You know, I listen to music all the time. Like I have my score of my life, my Pandora French cooking music radio that I listen to all the time in my house, because it's like a movie score. Speaking of movies, our topic today, obviously.
Yes, we're going to go into movies. But before we go into movies and we start letting that cook, let's cook with some hot takes, okay? Ooh, hot takes. The fire is a burning. We're putting something on the flames.
On
Burger King,
Apple,
have it your way.
Flames.
Yes, all right. Flame broiled hot takes.
If this is audio only, you're missing the flames.
Yes, you're missing the flames. We are ablaze for those of you who are just listening. But does it sound hot? I hope it sounds hot for you.
This is making me hungry.
Yes.
Every time you say
I'm always hungry because I'm fat.
It sounds like you're saying hot steaks, and I'm like,
hot cakes.
Good. Hot steaks.
Hot steaks. I need to defrost something. I haven't had steak in a while, mainly because I
just
didn't have a
actually
job.
made steak from Ozzy just the other night. I get him like sirloin. I get like 2 of them. I got him at Trader Joe's, and he gets so excited because God bless my son. He's like, yours is even better than the prime rib, which is a favorite restaurant of ours.
It probably is now, because they've actually, I'll be honest with you, I prefer.
I air fry it and then I butter baste it, and he just absolutely loves it like that. Yeah. So I love it.
No, trust me. One thing I'll tout for myself is I am no slouch when it comes to the grilling and meat department. I will make a steak that is
your tenderloin with the horseradish sauce.
Oh yeah, my sauce. That stuff is addictive. I'm telling you right now. I'll put it on anything. We're like, I would put this on an Oreo. I
want to
don't
learn
care.
like what the exact styling is of the potato skins they do with the prime rib, because I love them. They're like not like when you hear,
because it's like 3 times baked
like
or something.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like just the skins and then this horseradish cream sauce, and it's
okay. So it's off topic though, and then in a food way. Does it aggravate you when certain things are referred to? So there's a common thread in my household. There's 2 hot button topics. One being rice cereal treats, which they're Rice Krispie treats, okay? And then chocolate sandwich cookies being Oreos. Yes, they'll say chocolate.
They refer to them as that?
Yes. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Oh.
We adamantly are opposed from people using the term rice cereal treat, because again, they don't want, like on cooking shows, they don't ever want to give
like someone saying
promotion.
Cotton swabs
They're
instead
like,
of Q-tips.
Yes, some of these.
Everyone calls them Q-tips.
Yes,
I don't care
Kleenex.
what brand it is.
Somebody might say, I need a tissue.
Right.
Most people are like, can you give me a Kleenex?
Nobody says a cotton swab. Everyone says a Q-tip.
I'm going to make it a point now to say cotton swab.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I
No, but I would never call it a chocolate sandwich.
Chocolate, yeah, exactly.
Or a rice cereal treat.
So I'm going to put a thing on our story.
Shows when they can't call a brand.
So at Dollar General, okay, like it's like a discount kind of like grocery convenience store kind of thing, which I love and I frequent. Best place to go and get like Lipton Brisk, like 20-ounce things or whatever. So $1.
Not a
I'm like,
sponsor because no one is.
yeah, I'm like, I love it. So I'll get my drinks there and stuff like that, and I go to the dollar store or Dollar Tree or whatever it is to grab like some chips or something. So I'm like, I don't want to pay more than I've got to pay for stuff. But what was I saying for that? I'm
About rice cereal.
oh yeah,
treats
so they have
cookies.
chocolate sandwich cookies. It's like their generic thing. I was like, yeah, well they're Oreos basically. There's no difference. They're all horrible for you. Okay, let's be honest. Anything that's like packaged and sold to us is trying to
Do
kill
people
us.
still
But
buy Hydrox?
yeah,
Remember
basically it's the same deal. So in the spirit of hot takes, Gina, what is your hot take? That wasn't my hot take. That's a garbage thing, but you can say it aside.
My hot take is really a hot take you've heard me say before. Conga is not a good song on that ride. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care who agrees.
Jackson Olsen
I
agrees with
don't
me now.
care. Here's the thing, but I need to defend this point because I am in a very small minority about not liking this. Again, it's not that it doesn't go with a fast ride. If it was on Rock and Roller Coaster and Rock and Roller Coaster was not Aerosmith, I'd be like, yeah, this is awesome. It's fast. It goes with it. It's something about when they go, oh, we jump back and it starts. It just doesn't feel like it fits the ride to me. I get I'm alone in that. It just doesn't feel like when I'm going around, I'm not like, oh yeah, come on, chicken buddy, do the. I just don't connect it to the theme of the ride. I don't know why Disco Inferno works and why September and why Blondie all work for me.
I feel like you're
they're
working
very
against your
differently.
point. Because Conga slaps. Sorry.
I don't care. And
To
you know what
you.
the thing
Right
is?
there.
Now it angers me. I don't want to ride with Josh or Stephanie because when they get it and they're so happy,
Shots
I'm
fired.
so angry because I'm like, I want at least a different song. Because the last 2 times I've been on it with them, I have gotten that stupid song. And I'm sorry, Mrs. Stefan and your Miami Sound Machine.
She lost her
But-
restaurant. Give her the song of the damn
Sorry. I'm
ride.
sorry. It just doesn't go for the ride to me. It's not that it doesn't go on a
I need a
roller coaster.
conga button in my sound effects. Come on, do that conga.
If I got it once, maybe I wouldn't
Does
care,
anybody actually know what she's saying there? Except for that. You ever notice like people try to say?
Yes. Come on, shake your body, baby. Do that conga. No, I can control yourself any longer. Feel
All right,
the
so there
rhythm
is
of the
somebody that
music
does it.
getting
Whatever.
stronger.
Learn, live, and learn.
Yes. Remember I sang it on our other episode?
Okay, well, good job.
Okay. What's your hot take, dum dum?
So my hot take, okay, is that the people that feed the birds in
Anywhere.
anywhere on Disney property should be banned. Like, if you're that family that all of a sudden has now made an Alfred Hitchcock movie, that every freaking wildlife animal has now congregated under my picnic bench, and you're throwing popcorn, things they're not supposed to eat, it's not because we're saying we don't care that these animals haven't eaten. They're animals. They find food. And yes, this is one of the sources.
Also, it makes them start climbing up to other people's
But
food.
it's not about that. It's in the ecosystem. There's things that they cannot eat.
Right.
Birds aren't supposed to have bread and all these kind of other things like that. It's not good for them. Like, oh, they go get sick, and maybe that's controlling the bird population. I don't know. But stop it. Just stop it. If you're the family, it's like, hey, yeah, there's popcorn. You throw it. First of all, don't litter in Disney, okay? And even the birds are now like, we don't like this popcorn. Okay, I love it. I'll eat all of it. But the fact is, stop bird people. Okay?
Yeah, I agree because the thing is, you're.
I don't care if little Timmy like, look how close the bird's getting. I hope that bird.
But you're
pecks your
training
foot.
them. So then, like a squirrel or a bird sees a little kid sitting in a stroller eating French fries, and they're gonna jump in their lap because you're training them on this.
I try to
people
get
food
them
diet.
and lure them into other situations. There's like a squirrel with like foaming at the mouth. Be like, yeah, throw him one.
People that do
Throw
that at
him
the
a little
beach
something.
make me so angry though. That like throw French fries on the beach for all the seagulls and the seagulls. I hate that. It's just like I hate people who play football on a small beach. It's like if you're on a giant beach where there's plenty of space, throw a football around, great. But when you are like 5 feet from my blanket and I know you're not going to be good enough to not miss a catch at least once, I can't stand people
Well,
do
the
that.
same thing is like people are like, oh, I'm just feeding them. Okay. Well, I just saw you walk by the other day, 7 homeless people. You didn't give them anything and they were hungry. I'm like, so you tried to, I think, this moral high ground and you're feeding the ecosystem. You know what?
I mean,
of course, you
no.
also didn't go buy a bunch of, this is not, listen, don't cancel
God,
me
here
for
we go.
this second.
Canceled on episode 2. We didn't get canceled on
I
episode
feel
1.
like this should
Your
be a
comments
common
about
thread.
being blind.
Josh's comments that could get us canceled.
It
Section.
seems to be a new
No,
segment.
it's like saying I'm not going to walk by somebody that's down their luck and throw a handful of popcorn at them. You're welcome. And then be like, I did a great deed for the day. How about you just, you know what? If you really want to feed the birds, adopt one. Okay? I'm just saying, bird people, automatic banned. There is no second chance. Okay? I see this. Before your
That's probably
popcorn
only
has
a
gone
hot
out.
take to the bird
Listen,
people.
before the popcorn has left your hand, you're already
outta here.
banned.
You're out of here.
It's gonna be the slogan. Before it leaves your hand, you're already banned. So get it out of here. Later, Chuckles. All right.
Littering and bird feeding. Before it leaves your hand, you're already banned.
Exactly. So there it
Okay.
is.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm amazed that, you know, it didn't take us too long to get through the opening segment because we're streamlined. Season 2, brand new me.
I already
Season
forgot-
2, new you. Okay.
I already forgot to look and see what time on my clock we started because all the
I'll give
clocks
you-
on my desk are different times.
I gotta figure out. Yeah, I gotta figure a signal. Like maybe just silently give or like nonchalantly give you the finger off camera.
Or our show, you could just go, Gina, rev it up. No, the thing is that last time, because we're trying to keep these maintained to an hour for continuity and consistency. But I forgot to look on the clock in front of me because it's not the same time as the clock on my phone. I didn't look at either of them to see what time we started. So it is what it is. You'll figure
We are
it out.
now 15 minutes into this episode. So
Okay. Subtract 15. Got it.
yeah, it's 15 and a half minutes basically at this point right now.
Okay.
So anyhow, we were going to talk about Disney movies and that kind of that topic. All right? There's a lot of things in here.
This was requested. This was a topic
It was a requested topic. I will
by
be
several
honest with
people.
you. We grew up on Disney animation and the Disney VHSs that you cut your hand open on and everything else, the clamshell ones that didn't quite close and you ran one of these things, and then the ones that were like, you know, never played the right way because it's VHSs. But that time, I'll be honest with you, was a better time to me. Animation was better. I love the fact that Disney's contemplating going back to hand-drawn animation now, like kind of doing a throwback to see if they can do it, because I feel like even with technology, they can't capture it. Like, it's like, it's the same reason, like, there's other things when it comes to video and all. They're like, oh, remember, like, the old footage of, like, I see people going around the parks now with old throwback cameras. We're like, here's the footage, but it's modern day, and they're, like, having the same grainy
I
footage.
just bought one.
I love that. It's people like you that keep the world going, Gina.
You know what? I've always been retro, though. Growing up, I always loved the 50s and 60s, an era I never even lived in. But there's
Is
something
retro
to
a
be said-
term you use now that you're old?
No. I'm a
Let's talk
historical
about it.
figure. Thank you very much. I'm a historical figure according to American Girl doll. The era I grew up in was historical.
I heard
no, this is
Nirvana
the thing.
referred to as classic rock at one point, and I go, I want to kill myself.
This is the thing, is that not only did we grow up with the clamshell, VHSs, we grew up in the era where you had to record it off of the TV sometimes. If a movie was on, and I would
Which is
say,
highly illegal if you think about it.
but my favorite was my Cinderella. I've mentioned this on the pod before, but like where the tracking in the beginning was very like when they were showing the book of Cinderella and it was like, and it was so exciting. The sound, it was different because remember, all those movies back then started with like a storybook, right? It was Sleeping Beauty storybook. It was Snow White storybook. It was Cinderella's storybook. So it really did that storybook fairy tale vibe, and then it was some kind of song that went with it. It was a voiceover. It just really.
Do you ever
brought
go
you in.
back and then watch the entrance like whole spiel to the movies that like you think there was something, but you realize what the sound was back then? Do you ever go back like say, oh, I don't
what
remember the
sound effect
opening?
they were
The
using?
opening, like I went back the other day and actually listened to it, and it literally I've got the clip.
Jason Derulo.
I tell you right now, I had no idea.
That's how they kicked off.
I had no idea that Jason Derulo was the kickoff to all the Disney movies.
Oh my god.
Say what you want, it slaps.
But I think there was something because you got to remember the time was also very different. I try to explain this to our kids, my nieces. I try to explain to them that like when you wanted to watch TV back in the day, it was a family affair because you had one or two TVs in the house, maybe you had three or four, but things were on at a specific time. This
Yeah.
is way before DVR.
You had to learn how to read a
TiVo,
TV guide.
streaming. So it was all on. So it was like, we're going to watch Who's the Boss. We're going to watch it Tuesdays at 8:00. So if a movie came on, like Cinderella was going to be on or anything, or you were all doing it together. So I think that also lent to what the emotional connection to these stories were, is it was embracing childhood, but it was really like we've always talked about with Disney, you've said it helped the adults capture their inner child.
Yeah.
Whereas now everything feels very modern day. It doesn't feel as much callback. They're trying to make the heroines very modern day, like, I'm the young girl. I
Yeah,
can do
modern
this.
day heroin is a lot different.
So I feel like that
Well, you
makes
said-
it not as emotional. Like there's great stories.
Well, you
in
said
there.
like you hit the nail on the head when you're talking about like back then you had to be somewhere. Like when you had to be at home to get a phone call. Like you couldn't be like, it
Go
wasn't like,
to
oh,
the
you're on the
movie
go.
theater,
You had
everything.
to like I think the first time I realized where you could get something on demand content was basically pay-per-view on DirecTV.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, you could order from a remote. Like I can order this movie now.
Because old
and watch
pay-per-view
it
you had
when
to
I wanted
call.
to.
Remember? Do you
Yeah,
remember
you
when
had to
a kid,
call
you
into the thing,
in and
call it.
order it.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I remember even like the different cable boxes as they upgraded.
Yeah.
You know, we remember the top loading VCR. We remember the having to rewind them, take them back to Blockbuster.
Do you remember when we had
and
a
the
remote
rocker
that
switches?
was not cordless?
Yeah,
It was like a
yeah,
little
and
dial
it was a
and
dial.
attached to
And
the
then you
cable box.
also had the rocker switches,
I remember
okay,
that.
for the cable box. And they had another thing from like UHF and VHF or whatever, like on the thing you had to go through between the two different levels. So cables that remember the Disney Channel was the big. That's why we said we're coming full
So
circle.
good.
The Disney Channel Mouser size was like we were obsessed with, but we were such
Welcome to
lazy.
Pooh Corner,
We were lazy.
Dumbo
Listen,
Circus.
we were lazy shit children. Sorry, TV-14. That couldn't get up in time to watch Mouser size because
like
it was
7
it was
a.m.
like 7
6 maybe even.
yeah, it was like 6 to 7 a.m. Mouser size came on. It's like you see them workout show with the characters, and we thought it was the
So
most
magical.
amazing thing.
It was so kids nowadays wouldn't be entertained by that though. That's what
It was like
sucked.
that. The gummy bears. There was like a bunch of different things
Welcome
on
to
there.
Pooh Corner, Dumbo Circus.
Welcome to Pooh Corner. Wow. Oh my goodness. But I'll tell you
Welcome
what.
to you.
I
when
feel
you
like it
get
was a
Pooh.
better, more excitable time of Disney content when it came out. Because I remember like the time when like, okay, when you first got into things, it had more, not from the hand-drawn thing, but more of the computer influence things with like Beauty and the Beast. Okay? Beauty and the Beast was spectacular when it came out. And everybody's like,
It was a
just
whole new
looks there.
era.
It was well before you
Little
get the stuff
Mermaid was the launch.
with Toy Story and everything where you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. I'll be honest with you, I really love the old school animation. Not because I'm old. I feel like if I was born now and was watch some, I'd rather have the old school animation things. And I feel like the movies they had back then had a little bit better substance to them, and like the stories were just better. You know, it was just like when you get in the old days of Robin Hood or Sleeping Beauty, or you get Cinderella, or you get Beauty
But
and the
also
Beast.
look how eternal
And
the
now you get
villains
stuff
are.
you're like, this is like an offshoot of this. I'm like, the story. I mean, yes, they're all based on former classics, most of them, you know, are based off of things, Grimm's fairy tales, whatever else you want to put. I just feel like it just held differently.
Right.
And I'm just,
Look at the villains, okay? So you've got Maleficent, timeless villain,
yeah.
right? You've got the wicked, the evil queen and the old hag, like timeless villain. Then you get into the resurgence, the renaissance that Disney had, which was so Ursula.
Yeah.
You've got Jafar, you've got Scar. Like those were major villains. Then you kind of take a turn for a while where there were some big movies. But I think that even now looking at these days, it's like, who's the villain in Frozen? Okay, Hans.
Well,
is
it's
the
even, yeah,
villain.
it's like some are undercover.
Moana. Like that's so brief. It's not really like the villain.
It's the same thing in like Princess and the Frog, where you're like, okay, it's Dr. Facilier, but is it really like he's just
Right.
more like
He's
an
not-
antagonist?
he's
like
kinda
it's like
enjoyable, but
you know,
not iconic.
and it's
the
not
way-
like it's like, oh wow, this is this huge battle with this thing. It's not. There's so many things back and forth, and you're like, oh.
Right. And same with like.
I love the movie. Don't get me wrong, but I'm
right.
just saying,
Same
clear
with
cut villain
Coco,
wise.
Ernesto de la Cruz. Okay, great villain, but like not an iconic
De
villain.
la Cruz in the plaza.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
an iconic villain the same way. And Kanto, it's like the grandmother. Like they're just not telling great villain stories. I think. As
I
much
have to
anymore.
watch Encanto because I have not watched it. Encanto, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. I don't know, tomato,
Encanto.
but all I know is now I want Taco Bell because I see
God,
my
me
gift
too.
card, and I also talking about. It's not insensitive, guys. Come on, let's just
Cancel
not be so
moment
touchy.
number 3.
Okay, yeah. That's my thing. My New Year's resolution
To get
was to
canceled?
be more offensive to all people. Just
Oh
kidding.
my God, I saw a shirt-
No, I'll be honest with you. My New Year's resolution was to stop being so worried about being touchy.
Right.
Because I feel like the things fell off in comedy and everything else when everybody just assumed
There
it
was
was
a
to
shirt
be
today
vicious.
at Five Below. It says, "If you find me offensive, I suggest you quit finding me."
I'm fat and easily found. So that's what I'm like.
But that's
I'm
what
harder
I
to
think
kidnap.
that the villain stories, it's not that their heroines are the problem, it's their villains are the problem. In my personal take. I just feel like when you look back, the art, there was also like, when was the last time you saw somebody buy some kind of still? Because there's not like the same cells or backdrops or anything of the old movies. Now you go into an art gallery of Disney and people are loving to buy something from Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
What
There's
goes
an
back to
art.
it's like now with Villains Land coming up in like 2050 something basically because they'll keep
Hades
getting
was a good villain.
you know.
Both sides.
So and I agree because I think James Wood was great with it. But the fact is, it's like you look at society as a whole. Okay, Villains Land's a big thing. Everybody's like, yeah, everybody wants this dark thing. It's like, okay, I hate to say, oh, Satan wins, but it's like it's not. I'm not saying that. And I'm like, I got my
That's a
cross on my neck.
soundbite.
Yeah. No, I'm like, but it's not about just that, but viral activity on the internet
Yeah.
What is more likely to go viral? Something negative or positive? It's never the positive. It's always the negative. And you figure like villains, maybe you spend a little bit more time. Yeah, and it can be. There's great stuff. Me, misty-eyed all the time of the clips of like, here's another sob story on America's Got Talent.
Surprising his kids.
Yeah, those kind of things. It's usually America's Got Talent and this person, because the person that wins always has a backstory. And they're like, this person survived being, tortured by this, or they have this hard luck story. And by the way, they used to eat toenails or something. It doesn't, I'm just telling you, it's the worst things you can think of. You're like, you feel bad. Again, I'm not going to worry about offending people. You feel for these people, and you're like, I'm sitting watching. I'm not callous, okay? I'm sitting over there and
no
like,
offense to those
tears.
Toenails.
no, my strange addiction. But anyway, so I'm like crying watching these things. My daughter will inevitably look over at me, and she'll just say, "Are you crying?" And I go, "Stop it. Just stop it. Just watch the show." I had that happen at a church thing. They were showing a clip of this one video that's really gripping. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, I keep things separate from like obviously religious views and everything. But I'm like, why? I'm like, how can you not be gripped by this? And I look over this woman who hasn't seen the thing before, and she's probably nearing my age. Her kids are around the same age as mine, and she's full on crying, and like, just like, and her kids are like, kind of like, "What are you crying for?" And I go, "Don't worry, I got it too." I was like, I get it all the time for my kids, but the emotion provoking kind of things, I'm like, I love that with Disney, because the swell of a song in something, you're like somebody like, I can go the distance kind of thing, like all this, it gives you a feeling. And that kind of Disney magic was always present in the old animation stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't felt it as much in the new things, so to speak. Coco, yes, Coco got me. I don't always want to be, you don't always have to kill parents. You don't always have to do this stuff for this, the Bambi like things. You're like, oh, the Dumbos, like Baby Mine and everything. Like you're sitting there and it's like, oh.
The saddest song in a Disney film.
Yeah.
When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2. Kill me. Sarah McLachlan just wants all of us to off ourselves, because like the fact that she writes these songs that are the most depressing songs, that whole song made it so hard for me to ever give away a toy ever again. I already had that struggle and feel like I see the identity in inanimate objects. And so that song guts me. I
try to rise above it, because I just literally, what I did after that? I took every toy I didn't have and put it in the chipper. I was like, that's it.
Also, some songs like Rescuers when I was little. Like that song got me emotional, or that movie got me emotional. Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp had major emotional moments, and obviously Bambi.
Reliable. I don't know if I've mentioned reliable.
Well, we've said this before, Josh, like about just Disney in general, and I said that about one of my hot takes was about Disney commercials. Now I feel like this year they're starting it off strong, trying to reconnect with stop targeting the kids that don't even watch commercials.
Did I see what's her face back on like a
Stacy? Yeah,
Stacy. Yeah, I'm like, God bless her.
When you look at a commercial and they're like targeting the TikTok generation that doesn't watch commercials, like our niece Kinsley, she's like, I don't watch commercials, because what they're watching, they don't have them. So when they're targeting that group, great, put those out on TikTok or something, or put those on YouTube Shorts. But for those of us, the older generation, remember it used to be, they always, and they still do, commercials were catered to what you were watching at the time. Yeah. So they would always put toy commercials during kids shows, because they'd run to their parents and be like, buy me this. Mom products during shows they thought moms were watching, during sports, certain things. So I feel like this year they're off to a little bit of a kick of these nostalgic commercials. They're calling it, like, I think their tagline this year is "This is Disney." And I'm really excited, because not to pat ourselves on the back, I'm not giving us credit, but I'm saying that ties in very well with the idea of bring back the magic. That's what we've been begging for. It's the whole reason we started the show is Disney, bring back that magic. We're not asking you to be
we're not saying Disney sucks either. We're just saying the fact is we want to feel that feel. We want to feel that involvement. And it's like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. Since we're talking about Disney movies, okay, I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to tell me what your go-to is. Let's go back in the nostalgia train and talk about how, let's say it's a snow day. Okay, back when, snowed in, school's out, you're sitting there, you're in your comfy jammies, you've got like a little snack, and you're sitting by the television, you're warm, maybe you're sitting by a fire or something, and you're going to put in a Disney movie. What is that movie, and why is it Robin Hood?
I was going to say, first of all, what age am I? Because it really does. Is it about a movie that was just out at that age of my life?
Okay, listen.
Robin Hood,
hold on,
absolutely.
Gina. Just pause before you even
go-to
answer.
for me.
I said you put in a VHS. What age am I? It ain't last week. Because I don't remember you putting a VHS on last week. Anyway, yes. So
There
you're
were
like
still
younger.
VHSs in my
School is
teenage
out.
years.
It's a snow day. Okay,
Yeah.
school is out. It's a snow day. You can even you can
No, I
answer
love
from back
Robin Hood.
then,
It
or you
would be
can answer
Robin
from
Hood.
now.
It would be Robin Hood back when I was younger. It would have been Robin Hood, always Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and probably 101 Dalmatians. And sometimes Lady and the Tramp. Although, like I said, sometimes that would make me sad.
So I asked
But
you a single question, and you've now had
I
a movie marathon. Just saying. Those are the facts.
I would say if I had to pick one when I was younger, it would have been Cinderella. Because
Okay.
Cinderella
I
is
think
just
it,
an eternal go-to.
I weirdly enough, and why I said why is it Robin Hood? Because that'd be mine. Like I would rather put Robin Hood on there because I just feel like it's a fun. It's a funny movie. But now, like if you said back then, now if I'm putting a Disney movie on, everybody knows what Disney movie I'm picking. If I'm like, we're gonna pick off Disney Plus, which is not Marvel, it's not Star Wars, it's all that kind of stuff. It's just saying Disney animated movie. What is it gonna be? Emperor's New Groove.
Yes.
I will put that on above anything because I still and Aladdin's another one, by the way. Aladdin from back when it'd be Aladdin or it would be Robin Hood. Between the two.
Emperor's New Groove, I'll never be sick of.
The two funniest comedy Disney movies are Aladdin and Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I would pick Emperor's New Groove any day as far as a movie to watch that I'll never get sick of. The comedy will never get sick of it. I will never get sick of the comedy in that. I also, obviously, if we're going Pixar, you know I love Ratatouille. There's a lot of Pixar movies I really, really do love and think are very funny and enjoyable. I am a Pixar fan. I know not everybody is.
Well, Incredibles is not bad either.
Incredibles is great.
I always tease that Syndrome was like our brother Stevie because he was a redhead.
Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. I love those. I enjoy Inside Out. There's a lot of movies that I like in the Pixar nation. But as far as classic Disney movies, it would be Cinderella and Robin Hood, 101 Dalmatians, another iconic villain, obviously Cruella. And you know, when I was little, I did really love Rescuers a lot. That was a big one that doesn't get enough play these days. I would also say this kind of ties into a topic that's a big hot button issue these days. Pete's Dragon. Pete's Dragon was a live action, obviously, but combined with cartoon, like the way that Roger Rabbit was. So Pete's Dragon, excuse me, when they remade that, I was like,
I missed that, by the way. I missed that in Hollywood Studios,
Same.
the little Roger Rabbit thing next to where Honey I Shrunk the audience, or not audience. I mean, Honey I Shrunk the kids play set. Yeah, I'm like, now here's the other thing. Thinking about it, who in your opinion, because we'll just ask this because we're talking Disney movies and everything, and when we're talking villains, even though it's not a villain thing, it just happens to be part of it. Who is the gold standard? Who do you think was like, when you say villain, you have to build off of this level? Who's the gold? That's yours. Okay.
I mean, it's not my favorite villain, but I'm saying that's the standard because I feel like she was
I'm gonna go
evil. She was enchanting. Like she was kind of like a villain you love to hate.
Mine's similar. Mine is the Evil Queen because I feel like that with the Wicked Witch, like, you know, that kind of deal. It's like she was persistent. So you got the Evil Queen, like, all right, now I'm going to get Snow White. And it's now I'm the
male,
wicked,
I would say
wicked
Scar
witch.
Because Scar freaking was
I think he's the most I think he is the most deliberate and haunting villain would be Scar. Like as far as like you just got that look, like it's like you turn. It's very
you wouldn't want to catch him in a back alley. He doesn't look like he has.
Yeah, it's just very personal. Like he just gives off I'm a mean bastard kind of thing. You know that's. Yeah. But I love him. I'm like he's one of my favorites.
Love him too, and his
Hades
song is
and Scar.
Yeah.
Hades, Scar, Yzma.
Yeah, like, Prince John, you know, like there's some that were great, like they're great. We've talked about before, they're not all scary villains, obviously. But I do think we're talking about live action. Okay, so we've got Pete's Dragon that was like live action as in live movie with a cartoon add-on. I loved that movie as a child. I love the music from that movie. When they remade that, I was like, stop, shut your mouth, don't touch that movie. And I do not think the new one is good. So now we have all these live actions that Disney's been making, right? They just
biggest live action villain. Bob Chapek? No, anyone?
So they started making these live actions, right? Yep. They've done live actions for a while. I would go back. People think the first live action is like, oh, Cinderella. No, it was 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. Yeah. Would be first. I don't know if it's literally the first, but I will say that was stellar. I loved that live action movie.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't like, oh, why did they do this?
I just think she's fantastic. But you get into where they started doing, okay, we're going to do a Cinderella. We're going to do, I'm not saying them in order, Beauty and the Beast, Jungle Book. We're going to start doing all these, Little Mermaid, all the things.
Lion King.
Lion King. And it just became so much that we all talk about where the original stories, where Pirates was based on a ride that was a story created for a ride.
Phenomenal, by the way. I think
Fantastic franchise.
easily the best adaptation of anything. Jungle Cruise was fun
It's fine.
I think that they got good in the story. They got in depth.
Right.
I thought it was entertaining.
Right.
Because who'd have thought like Jumanji rebooted
Yeah,
or
that
whatever
was
in a
great.
different thing would be as good as it was. You know, and you could continue something. But I'm like, okay, it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can go back to the drawing board and it be fine.
Mhm.
But I feel like, you know, Pirates, I wouldn't be like, let's reboot the Pirates franchise now that it was like successful. I'm like, no,
But to
that's
take
like,
an
don't ever
original
touch it.
story that was for the ride and then make a movie out of it. That's how big it was. Same what they did with Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
But I think that was phenomenal. Like the first one's still my favorite of all of them.
I love the OG Eddie Murphy,
Eddie
Haunted
Murphy.
Mansion.
Eddie Murray. The
Yeah,
Baltimore
you know, from the Orioles,
That was
500
great.
home run club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the OG Eddie Murphy is my favorite. I didn't
The
mind.
Muppets one is good too.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the reboot one. It was a little bit different take on things.
Yeah.
I'm not really the Hatbox Ghost stuff. Yeah, had some legs to it, but also like there's a lot of Easter eggs in that.
Mhm.
I remember watching that again on the Disney Cruise Line. Like
Right.
I went on there. I think it was one I was with you on. I want to say, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go down to the theater watch it because.
One of my favorite parts of Disney cruises is having that.
Well, that's the thing is like the first run movies in there because that's always
Even just
somebody
having
put like
a
one
movie
of those.
theater at sea is like nice. It might sound silly to people, like I'm on a cruise ship. Why do I want to go to
But
a movie?
late night, if there's nothing else to do and like things feel like they're shut down, like
Or
you
the
go and
weather's
watch
bad
something.
or anything like
Well,
that.
I saw somebody putting up, it's like, oh, here's a hack for, you know, blah, blah, for Disney cruises. This is a separate topic, but they're getting ready to watch a movie in there. And they have these little, like, containers. They put all their food in from, like, upstairs at, like, you know, like, the grab and goes. And I'm like, or you can just take the plate from the grab and go and come down to the theater. Everybody does it. I'm like, you didn't crack the code by telling somebody to spend more money on a container now. I'm like, yes, it's easier when you have little children that are probably
Right.
klutzy
So
and
that
all.
might be the hack. It's not that you're getting away with something. It's just making it more convenient, maybe for them.
And
Um,
not to go on to another topic here, but we've talked about my thing with like the tweens and the teens
Yeah.
in the theaters and all. They want to come in and disrupt everybody, and I'm like, here, I do crowd control, child and crowd control. Okay, if you come into a theater and I'm in it, no matter who you are, where you are, blah blah blah, and if you're one of those obnoxious people that is going to be on their cell phone, if there's going to be talking during it, they're going to be doing all that stuff, or you're kicking a seat, you will be escorted out. Now you'll be asked to leave immediately, or you'll be made to leave. Go
yeah,
by
I
me,
was gonna
so
say
I'll
though,
be like,
we were talking about live actions. Is right now they've just released that Milo Manheim, Tegan Croft, I believe is her name, are going to be live action Tangle. That actually does get me excited because when they first started saying Tangle, I'm like, seriously,
because
another live action.
Milo is going to be Flynn Rider.
Right. I
just
feel
moving.
like that I'm actually excited about because I think that he's got the musical talent. I think he's going to be a great casting for that movie. I just want Disney to do one thing. Stop ruining the movies. Like if there's already a successful movie and it's so successful that we want to see, that you want to make another version of it, don't change it too much.
Yeah.
Like stay true to the original. You don't have to carbon copy it. But that was, I think, why Beauty and the Beast was so popular. Remember, they did it down in a lot of ways. The trailer mimicked every single
Yeah.
scene from the original trailer, and people
Yeah.
found that, like, because it's a respect. We know from growing up in the comic industry, we say all the time, somebody wants to do their interpretation of a comic character, but when you stray too far from the original, you're insulting the built-in fan
Well,
base you already
here's the
have.
other thing. It's like, and you might feel the same way I do, and if you don't, okay, there's that. When you go to see a concert, I'm not a big concert person because I'm just like rather listen to music where I'm comfortable and not around a bunch of people that are like right up on top of me, and then like it's too loud where I am, and then I've got to worry about somebody trying to sing along with it. No, but I can go to certain things. I just don't. That's a time in my life I don't do anymore. But when you go to one, and then the person that writes a song wants to change it there, and it's like, here's my new version of this. Your new version sucks. I've started watching you and buying your album because that version was good, and I like that. This new, I'm going to do my bluegrass version. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, you could go do whatever you want to do, but you know what? Save it for when you're at home and you're on Instagram Live. And you want to go and like, yes, hashtag Instagram, your bluegrass version of Billie Jean sucks. Okay.
Right.
Okay, you're done. I don't care. You're not having it.
Yeah.
And I will not participate in your tomfoolery. But as far as the Disney classics go, you've got your core of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I think that's still at top. I mean, that's, your first animated, kind of like Disney feature length. You've got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And that's back in the 1930s. how far we've come. If you can imagine, this is what I always want to put myself in Walt's shoes, which I'd love to be, because the guy's like, he's my hero. Um, if he had saw what he started to where it is, where is it that he's beaming with pride, and where is he also like, hey, like we can go into theme parks and stuff. You've taken out certain core things, whether it's the riverboat kind of stuff or Tom Sawyer's Island, and you're to pave paradise and put up a parking lot kind of like scenario, or how the movies go into a direction. Is it all 3D animation and stuff? Because it's the times, is he a champion of that, or is he a critic and saying, I would rather keep to what made us
Integrity.
and have that integrity and makes us definitively Disney, and or distinctly Disney. And I think you can still feel what is Disney and what isn't. When it gets into 3D animation and the computer stuff, you kind of have a hard time knowing where DreamWorks stops and like Disney begins, or whatever, or Pixar stops and like DreamWorks begin, because it's so close in nature and certain things. And that's where you get like the Jeffrey Katzenbergs and all, and they start up something because Disney could have just made it easier and Disney would add all of it. Something's in competition with them because they decided we're going to do this. Now, is that the argument for it? Back then with like Eisner and everything and Katzenberg, you're like, okay, well, the DreamWorks wouldn't even have existed if it had been for dealt differently. Disney would have been Shrek, and everything else would have been part of this. Had it been treated differently. That's just delve into history, because that was like, oh, you treated me a certain way. I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. I've made you a fortune and all these other things, and all I want to do is get a small piece of something. Now I get a much bigger piece of something that you're going to go buy later and then try to purchase this, that, and the other. Right. So just, there's a lot of things. Not everything's a winning idea either. Like, when Disney had a chance at Lord of the Rings back when and passed on it. People don't realize all these things that could have been Disney but aren't. Maybe it's just the fact they weren't Disney made them what they are. They could have an own identity. Would Disney push the envelope farther with a Shrek-like movie? Even though Shrek's not like crass to a certain thing, but it's not distinctly Disney either, because it's like you're poking fun at the fairy tale lands and you're doing all this stuff. Not the gumdrop buttons, the Muffin Man lives on Drury Lane. Yeah. But all these different things. Again, my tangent aside, I feel like nowadays I'm less excited about what's coming out from Disney animation, maybe from Disney movies, like from a live action, but not based on animation movie, if that makes sense.
Which is a bummer, because it's like the most of the live actions they're doing are just redos of the animation.
That's what and again, it's like the movies that made us, put it this way, it's like the animation stuff for me. If the Disney had to do something to the movies that made us. I don't get excited
about the idea of them constantly just redoing the same stories by any means. But I said Tangled is the exception. If they can do it right, I am looking forward to that. I will give it a chance. But there were many I didn't even bother to see because they didn't even appeal to me. Snow White, Mulan, maybe they were good. I don't know. I never saw them. There were plenty. I saw Cinderella.
I want a reason to go back to the movie theater. Be honest with me and yourself. Aside from a limited engagement, let's say it's a Stranger Things kind of thing. Oh, we're going to play the premiere or the last episode in the theater. When's the last time you were in a theater and it was packed?
The last time I was in a theater, I can tell you when it was packed. It was when I saw Endgame.
Yeah. So Marvel.
Actually, no. When I saw No Way Home. When I saw Endgame in the theater, it was packed. And when I saw No Way Home. Yeah. No Way Home.
And I feel like the Marvel.
I saw it the night it came out.
And here's another thing. It's a tough truth. There is superhero fatigue. There is, obviously it came out with, the new Avengers is going to be 3 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. You're like, okay.
But I really hope they don't screw
Doomsday
it up.
is going to be 3 hours and 45. I'm like, if it's good, it's always good to have a long movie. You're like, oh my God, it's still getting good. And maybe it saves from being a two-parter, because I don't want another two-parter. I don't want cliffhangers. It's one thing to have a continuity to your stories that connect, but I don't want a cliffhanger. Maybe they think
making it longer is more likely to get people to pay for a ticket, as opposed to like the cost of watching just an hour and a half movie or 2 hours.
And it may be that, but I feel like the fatigue is real because there's been some real stinkers that came out.
The one that let me down the most, I will say, is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, because I really thought that was going to play up on the multiverse concept the way that kind of No Way Home does. Yeah. But instead, it just became really dark. And I get it's a movie about
like America Chavez and all these characters that come into things. You can introduce them in a better way.
It was so dark. I will say also Disney, essentially. Avatar. I just saw the new Avatar movie with my son. I did not care for it. And I talked to another friend who saw it Kelly, and she was like, I thought I shouldn't have taken my son that age to see it because there were some adult situations, drugs and sex and things like that. Not
Hey now.
blatant, but inferred. But I will say this. It was so violent. And you take a movie.
This doesn't match the music plan.
But I'm saying, I can barely hear it. But the Na'vi, which were peaceful people, hunters, gatherers, respectful, whatever. And by the third movie, the violence they have coming from like them, and it ruined it for me. It ruined.
Spoiler
it for
alert,
me.
guys. Spoiler alert.
It's fine. You can see in the trailer.
I
It's
know
not a
it's on.
spoiler.
I was probably the biggest champion of Avatar.
Mhm.
Okay, because I loved it. My wife and I absolutely adore the first film. I've had since it came out, the day it dropped, and I was able to purchase the second one. I've owned it. I have not watched it,
It blows
and
my
I've
mind
not
'cause
watched the
second one
third
is really good.
because I know you said that too. And remember when the second one was coming out, I remember being at D23 when they were doing the previews for it, and some of the people we were with, I was with like Catherine and them and everybody like that, and like some of the other guys, and we're watching this preview, and they were kind of like, meh. They're like, because they weren't much into it. And you see where the separation, they gave us like a print or something like that from that engagement. I was so much a proponent of like, this is the best thing in the world because that whole society, the way it functioned, the ecosystem, the way it kind of gripped you. And I thought the movie was just fantastic.
It's beautiful too. It's a
But then I'm
beautiful
like,
movie.
is it? And here's the thing is like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Who knows? There's only two options, right? But for that, should have just been one movie.
Maybe I would have been.
And should just stop and say, here, do we have to keep making series? Can we just make
Well, now
a
they
movie?
want to make 5 of this if they can.
You know what I'll watch a series of? You know what? Laugh all you want. If there was a series of The Burbs, okay, back in the day with Tom Hanks, the movie The Burbs, that is my snow day movie. I love it. I can't get enough of that movie. That and Goonies. And they're supposed to redo the Goonies stuff too and go back and delve into that. Now Spaceballs 2's coming out.
Having seen the 3 movies, the Avatar movies,
Yeah.
I think they should have stopped after 2. I think that 2, when you watch it, ends on a note. I think that, first of all, the best movies leave you wanting more, but don't necessarily give it to you. Like, don't leave me hanging, but leave me wanting more in a
High
sense.
five.
But I feel like 2 is great because it explores their children. Like, now you've got the whole storyline of Nateri and Jake Sully's kids. So that's a whole new element. You've got the reef
she
people.
got it.
You've got the reef people and everything. There's sad parts in it because there's sad parts in all of these movies. But the third one, it just felt like it was just pure violence and then dark. And it took like, if you loved
I'll be
Avatar-
honest with you. Now that you're saying it, I kind of just want to see the movie. Like, you're selling this. I think good old Jim Cameron needs to have Gina in his back pocket. Say, you know what? Gina didn't even like this movie, but I think she sells on you wanting to watch it because you're like, it's violent and there's grittiness and all. Like, I'm almost excited about it. Like, let's see where this goes. Who doesn't like a dumpster
It's
fire?
another incredibly produced movie as far as the CGI and what they do if you watch the behind the
Oh,
scenes.
now
of
you're
how
going to
they
give them
film-
their flowers. Okay.
Let me know when it's my turn to talk. It was well made. The stories away from the violence are great. They're great for the most part. But overall, it's just too violent. The violence is over 3 hours long, and I would wager 2.5 hours of 3 hours is violence. Just nothing but violence.
Hashtag violence. Hashtag
So on the
Instagram.
topic of movies, because we're talking Disney movies, and Avatar kind of falls in that category
does.
now, in that
Yeah,
classic
absolutely
Disney
now.
movie, just like you were saying about Star Wars or Pixar or any of these
Well, that's
things.
the other thing. We didn't even break into the Star Wars realm, and I'll be honest with you. I like Star Wars. Am I a Star Wars nut? No. I work adjacent in the space right now. One of the companies I'm working with does all the action figure stuff where they sell the record-breaking ones, everything else, right? So I don't know why this
Did a light just go out?
I think one of my lights just went out.
I
Hold
was
on.
like, wait a
Hold
minute,
on,
the light
hold
just
on.
go out? You got darker.
Yeah, I think something just burned out. Anyway,
You look
it's the
tan.
magic of it. I'm like,
You look tanner now.
anyway, man, this is
Like,
what
did
happens.
Did I black out?
I'm a little upset right now. It's weird. Somebody's gonna be listening to this. They're like, "Why did Josh just say something?"
That's the beauty
No,
of
but in the
podcasting.
Star Wars thing, like again, they're selling action figures, and I'm getting to see all this stuff day to day, and all the associated merchandise that goes with it, which is huge. I mean, merchandising for like Star Wars is great, but like those original movies, I think the first 3, middle 3, basically, good movies. I'm like, I wasn't like, oh, this is earth shattering. Back then, it was a big deal. Now for me, I feel like that I've said this before. I think The Mandalorian is the best thing they've put out ever with Star Wars. I think that spaghetti Western feel, everything else, and how it functioned, I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was actually just amazing. So that is what I will carry the torch for, is like the fact that not only the uh, what's his name, Jon Favreau saved Marvel with doing Iron Man. He also put the Star Wars franchise on his back too and put out Mandalorian, because I think it's something, again, you could watch it and you didn't, and the best part was you didn't have to watch any of the other movies. You didn't have to know anything about Star Wars. You could pick up with this and you say, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
You're going to go through, and Mando is, just awesome.
Yeah. I think that I love the OG 4, 5, and 6 episodes just because it's what I grew up on. I'm not a major Star Wars person at all, but I love the OG movies just for the sake of, classics and everything. I love Marvel movies. That is a big fandom of mine. The MCU, the real clear-cut MCU. I literally was just watching a bunch of movies the other day. I love all the Captain America movies. I love all the Avengers movies, even though Ultron is like the lowest on the list. But it got better for me later on, like when more stories developed and I could go back and enjoy it a little bit more. I think the worst one ever is Captain Marvel, and also I'm not a big fan of Thor: Dark World. But that's
a gimme. That's like saying Mission Space sucks.
Right,
I'm like, the
yeah.
Thor: The Dark World's a gimme.
Since then, what they left us with Endgame. Okay, let's go through it. Far From Home was decent. Far From Home was a decent movie. And then later, even though it's not technically MCU, I did really enjoy No Way Home because I love a fun movie like that. But Shang-Chi, I absolutely love Shang-Chi. And that's where it ends for me. As far as Marvel movies, me being like wild and out, I love this. This is so great. I want to watch it again. I was so stoked for Thor: Love and Thunder. Didn't love it. Was so stoked for Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange original one is one of my favorite ones.
Doctor Strange is my favorite. Well, Iron Man and Doctor Strange are my two top Marvel movies of all time.
For me, it's very hard to do a top two, but I'm honestly, of ones I've seen the most, the original Avengers movie is like probably number one.
I'll be honest with you, and Black Panther is up there
Number one, the original Avengers movie is my favorite. I also love, I put them on one spot together because it's a part 1 and 2, Infinity War and Endgame. I love those two movies. I love Thor Ragnarok majorly. I love Captain America Civil War.
What was the latest crappy what's the latest crappy Thor movie?
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. Like, again, it was
they made him so dumb. They keep making him dumber.
It's not even just the dumb and the weak and all this other stuff. It's just the fact that, like, the storylines and things.
But you know how I feel? It's the same thing in DC. When they really tried to, like,
Thor Ragnarok was great.
That's why I said it was in my top 5.
Yeah, it's like, it was absolutely great because the melting stick? No. Like, the Grandmaster. Yeah, so.
That was well done, well cast, very funny, very enjoyable. The funniest of all the Marvel movies, I would wager. But I just feel like after Shang-Chi, I was just kind of like, meh. I'm not digging anything. I was getting excited for them to come out. Like Eternals, I was so excited for. Thunderbolts, I was getting excited for. All these movies that I was like, this is going to be great. And none of them grabbed me. So I really just pray with all the hype that's coming out for Doomsday that they do right. Like that they do right with these other characters coming in, they're releasing, because it's going to be a major cast. I actually just saw a video that said that, do you know how much money Robert Downey Jr. made from making all the MCU movies? It was almost $500 million he's made total in what he brought in salary for these movies. It's insane.
Yeah, no, he gets a huge chunk. Now, if you could throw back to the live action of yesteryear, okay? So you've got the Mary Poppins. You've got my favorite is Swiss Family Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, that's one of my absolute tops of Disney throwback movies. I'm like, yeah, Mary Poppins is great. You have that, but it's like I would rather watch Swiss Family Robinson. Yeah. Those. It's just
as a boy, especially, I feel like that. Like
it was just cool. The building,
the pirates and the treehouse and everything. We loved that. We grew up on that. I loved Pollyanna. I loved The Parent Trap.
Oh, Parent Trap is a good one too. Yeah,
the OG, because the Haley Mills movies that she made were.
Let's get together. Yeah. Nailed it. Look at that.
And then, obviously, like I said, I loved Pete's Dragon, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Pollyanna. As I said before, like those were big.
Now, this is a big question, and maybe you think differently. Are you as mad at my light going out as I am on this episode? Because my light is really making me upset.
No, because I'm looking at you when I looked
It's still,
at
we
this,
can see, but I got Tanner in this because of the
Yeah,
lighting. And that's
it's
the
fine.
magic of YouTube.
it's
Okay.
fine. Nobody on Spotify or Apple Podcasts
Yeah.
cares.
By the way, if you're
It's
listening to
fine.
this, it still sounds the same. Just less bright. I got,
That
maybe
sounds
I'm
like
dumber.
Mitch Hedberg. Like you sound like a Mitch Hedberg impression where you're
Yeah,
like,
just-
and it just got less bright.
Oh my God. Yeah, but okay, so I like delving into the movies because I'll be honest with you, it's one of the best parts of Disney is
It all
the
stems from
film.
there.
The
There is
film,
no
the
Disney
animation.
World without it.
And that's what again, it's the basis of all these attractions that are really good, that are really involved. And that's why even though most people don't go, it's like, oh yeah, I listen to this. I like it. I'm glad this person's doing it. People like don't go into Swiss Family Robinson into like the treehouse and in Adventureland. They don't go over there, but it's like I would hate to see it gone.
Yeah, same.
Because I feel like it's again one of those pieces of Disney from way back
history.
when that people might not get. And yes, it's grueling because you're gonna walk up there. If you're a kid, it's fun. You're like, oh, this would be neat to have
Line
it.
ride.
It should have been more interactive into what it is. You don't have to
I
have
agree.
it really closed off in that regard. But I feel like that's just what it is.
I want to say real quick before we finish up that another thing is looking at the major attractions that people love, especially at Magic Kingdom. But when you think Peter Pan is a very old movie. It is timeless, and that ride still, through barely any change over the years, consistently has an insane wait. What does that tell you when they try to say, oh, well, we need the new, we need to bring the new, we need to bring the new?
Peter
It's
Pan's
like,
another one, by the way. Just in general, like we were saying, movies you could watch. I'm like, Peter Pan's
Right. So I'm saying, what does that tell you? That like even it doesn't matter. Certain things are timeless. We say that about superheroes. Superman came out in the 30s and it's still relevant today. It's still pulling in box office. So them always thinking there's this bad mix of we can't come up with any new stories. We keep recycling the old, but you're not recycling.
And is it weird to anybody else that Zod became the butler in Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, you're changing the story. So it's a classic story that people love. Okay, great. But then you change it thinking, oh, we need to modernize it. It's not, people don't love the modern version. They like the old version of it. And then, or come up with something new and original. But if it doesn't sell, don't throw it down our faces in a Starlight Parade.
And I thought another movie, long when we said Peter Pan, was Hook. Okay, so Hook's another great one. That's what I think Disney live action funny movies and just something I could watch and it just
Pan's got kids.
Peter Pan's got kids. Rufio.
Bangarang!
What is his name? Dante Bosco or whatever his name is.
Sure.
Yeah, it's something like that. I want to say but
Sure.
I want to say that's
I
his
have
name.
a friend we call Rufio just because he looks like the guy in the movie.
But he does his royalty check things. If you ever watch him like on social media, he'll be like, okay, got a royalty check in for this, like for all the different stuff he goes in. Now let's see how we're eating. Are we getting steak or are we getting like McDonald's?
That's funny.
But again, those type movies I could sit around and watch.
Yeah,
So
100%.
well, let's move into our shout out. We're gonna shout, let it all out. These are some people we're gonna shout about. Okay. All right, Gina, who do you want to shout out for this episode?
I actually want to give a shout out to the people that have already registered for Festival
I
of
was
Friends.
thinking that. I was like, what's the safest way to come up with something?
Because here's the way. It's not about the ticket price. It's not about that. It's about the fact that even before we've released all the information, there are people, and not all people we already know. There are people that we are going to be meeting for the first time at this event.
And we're looking forward to it.
Jumped on board. They felt the energy. They put the trust in us knowing that we know how to give a good time. And so I want to give a huge shout out to those people because it keeps our momentum going. And the more that we know that other people believe in the event the same way that we do, because we're there whether you guys are coming or not. Like we said, we're there. We're having the good time. We know what we're going to put together. But that other people have faith in us just gives it that momentum to keep amping it up and making.
No, I'm jazzed. Trust me. I'm like, I am so stoked for that. I'm like, that's why I'm keeping up my Disney Vacation Club dues and everything else. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm getting there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to celebrate. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be entertained. We're going to do fun things together.
Shout out to all those people.
Shout out to those people. And also, if you're listening or you're watching, remember to go on Theme Park Chuckle. You can grab a shirt to support the podcast. Not trying to sell you guys up. This Baseline Besties shirt is great. And if you happen to be at the Festival of Friends, we could be by Baseline too. And you could wear this shirt there. And we could say, hey,
That
thank
may
you.
be somewhere in the itinerary.
It might
Josh.
be.
It
I'm
may
not going to
be.
ruin things, but Baseline Besties,
Yeah.
we have them.
Yeah.
We have some other friends that have them. And you know our main Baseline Besties, Mark and Stacy from We
Stacey,
Wear
and I
Matching
do-
Shirts.
Yes, and I do want to get that shirt in multiple colors because I do love that shirt. I also want to
I'm going to have a wardrobe of nothing but that shirt.
I want to say that if you have been watching this on YouTube, please do us a favor. If you enjoyed this video, like it, but also subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell because that way you won't miss a minute of the magic. We don't just do episodes of Bring Back the Magic on there. We also have had our Brunch Back the Magic episodes. We also have had podcast parties and marathons and everything. So hit that notification so you don't miss anything. Also, if you are listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, please give us a follow, write a review if you haven't. We would love it. But wherever you're checking us out, thank you. And also, please write a comment. We love to see what you guys have to say about the episodes. The best part is the response that you guys give us. On social media, you can find us at BBT Magic Podcast, Instagram, TikTok. We also have a Facebook. And check out our newly revamped website. You can get to it at bringbackthemagicpodcast.com or you can shortcut it at bbtmpodcast.com.
Yeah, and it'll get more stuff up there over time. We just kind of got the bones going, but
And
we've
check
got
out Festival of Friends.
and you'll get some
info on the
information
website.
on there, and we'll drop any other information about things up on the website. Thank you guys for joining us for yet again another podcast episode. Please watch your head and step as you exit the podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.